The toaster. The electrical parts used in a toaster are relatively basic and simple. The toaster comes with a spring-loaded tray and an electronic timer. A basic switch or pull-down lever is used to send electricity into the toaster, which in turn is designed to turn this electricity into heat, which in turn is used to char the bread. On the inside of the toaster, one set of wires is wrapped around a mica sheet. These wires, or the heating elements of the toaster, the external casing, is made either of metal or durable plastic. This insulates the outer part of the toaster from dangerous high-voltage electricity on the inside. It also makes the toaster cool to touch, even though it's very hot on the inside. All toasters need electricity to operate, and these need to be plugged into an AC outlet. So you need electricity to make your toaster work, but electricity cannot toast your bread. Electricity must be converted into heat in order to toast your bread. When electricity flows through the nichrome wires inside your toaster, energy is transmitted from one end of the wire to the other. The electrical energy is carried in the wire by electrons. The electrons are tiny particles from inside atoms. As the electric current passes through a high-resistance nichrome wire, a high amount of heat is generated due to the collisions between the atoms and electrons. This is known as the heating effect of electron flow. The heating element inside a toaster is called nichrome wires. Nichrome wires convert electricity into heat, a form of infrared radiation. Nichrome is an alloy of nickel and chromium. The two main features that make nichrome wires good producers of heat are: they have a high electrical resistance. Even a short piece has enough resistance to get hot. It does not oxidize, meaning it does not rust when heated. The simplest of toasters would have two bread slots, each with two mica sheets, one on each side of the bread slice. Each sheet is wrapped in nichrome wires and would be evenly spaced across the sheet. All this magic happens when the pull-down lever is pulled down, activating the electric contacts and applying power to the toaster. 230 volts AC is applied directly to the nichrome wires. In order for the lever to remain down, a simple coil is converted into an electromagnet via the combination of transistors, resistors, capacitors, and a timer IC. The electromagnet holds down the metal part of the lever using magnetism. The duration of the hold-down period is pre-selected by the user. This pre-selected time engages the timer IC via the current drive resistor on the board, together with capacitors and other resistors, and determine how long the simple coil will remain in an electromagnetic state. Once the desired toasting time has been reached, the electromagnetic state of the coil is removed. The metal part of the plastic lever will be released, thus disengaging the electric onboard contacts and cuts power to the toaster. At the same time, releasing the spring-loaded bread trays, causing your freshly charred bread to pop up. A magnetic force is created when electricity passes through a coil. When the electrical current passes through a coil, a magnetic field is created around the coil. It's as if it were a permanent magnet. The strong magnetic field around the coil can be turned instantly on and off by completing or disrupting the circuit at its contacts. The strong temporary magnetic field attracts and holds the metal parts of the pull-down lever. As seen from our previous descriptions, all electrical coils need a low DC voltage in order to become an electromagnet. Common faults and repairs. The toaster is not switching on. Make sure the toaster is disconnected before measuring continuity on the AC cord. Measuring the continuity of the AC cord at the live, neutral, and earth. Connect the AC cord to the power point. Set the multimeter to AC volts and measure 230 volts AC at the toaster contact points. If all this is in place, disconnect the AC cord from the power source and then check on the continuity of the nichrome wires elements. Any one of the previous 3 points will cause the toaster not to switch on. The nichrome wires light up, but the pull-down lever won't stay down. Here you must suspect the onboard inductor coil. Use a stiff piece of insulation to close the AC terminals. Switch the AC on. Test for between 11 and 16 volts AC at the input to the PC board. With the lever still pulled down, proceed to measure the voltage across the inductor coil. Remember, this should be between 11 and 16 volts DC. If the DC voltage is present across the inductor coil, the fault might be the coil itself. Switch the AC off, turn the multimeter to the ohms setting, and measure the resistance reading of the coil. There should be a low ohms reading, about 50 ohms. If the ohms reading is okay, then the fault is definitely a dry solder point on the PC board. Proceed to resolder any dry solder points. Electricity is dangerous. When working on any electrical appliance, remove the plug from the wall socket.